Okay, here's the Growatt unboxing. The SPF 3000 TL LVM. This is a 24 volt solar inverter. So in this, it comes with the so here it comes with the user manual and the I don't know, CD or something, not sure on that one. Also comes with various plugs and whatnot. I think this is for paralleling them. Here there's a USB. I think this is a communication port thing, and this is for, a lot of these are for if you're using more than one Growatt and have them in parallel. And then also if you get a Growatt lithium battery, it plugs directly into the unit, and it even has a communication port for it. But you can't use that communication port. It's only for a Growatt battery. So we'll take out the unit. This is going to be my solar generator, and I have it partially done. I had it all hooked up, and I removed the inverter just for make this video. But if we start this, we'll start with the two-wheeler. This is a Milwaukee Two-Wheeler, and that's the barcode. Part number is a 70138. And the thing I like about these type of two-wheelers, it's got the dual handles. When you have the single handle in the center and you go over rough terrain, the whole thing moves on it. Very hard to control. So at least this will be easy to control going over rough terrain. And it does have solid tires, pneumatics. You got to get a flat. And so it could pull a little harder over tough terrain, but it should be fine. And you can see this is the mounting plywood that I have on here, 1/2-inch plywood. This is Baltic birch. And the thing I like about Baltic birch, it has a lot more plies than a normal plywood. This has 8 plies, so it's much more sturdy. They use it in making cabinetry, drawers and whatnot. So I bought the plywood just for nice and thin, easy to work with. And then when I did this also, I mounted the plywood with these split ring, they're called split ring hangers. It's a plumbing thing for hanging pipe. And these were 3/4 inch, went on there perfect. It bites on the tubing really well. And then I put these at the top like this so that it would hold the weight up, and this thing could never slide down because of the way that's being held. So this whole thing would come off really easy just by loosening up those 4 split ring hangers. I can take this whole assembly off, and I put on this heavy duty steel handle for doing this and for moving it. Perfect grip, so I could move this, take it off here and move it inside or some other place if I need to. So, and then to continue on here, I did put some 1.5-inch pieces of wood here and here, and that will, so the inverter is sitting out, and obviously 1.5 inches, from the plywood. So then I did that so that I could put on some 3/4 inch plastic conduit, and I used another split ring hanger here to hold it. You can see I did have to grind that a little bit just so that it wouldn't hit the back of the inverter. A guy could get by with 1/2 inch conduit, I imagine, because I did use, this is just extension cord wire. I just left the sheath on and everything so that it was just easy to push through the conduit. And on this part here, this is a load center. QO, square D, QO. You always want to buy QO because QO is better than their home line. So this is like for a spa or hot tub. It's plastic. It's a plastic thing. It is meant for outside, but in here I have a 20 amp GFCI breaker. And then from out of there, I have two 4x4 cast aluminum boxes. And they are 7-hole boxes is what we would call them. They do get, they come with plugs, so you can plug up any holes that you're using. And if you notice here, I did buy an offset. It's an offset 3/4 inch offset here, so then I could just roll it to whatever angle I needed to get into this first hole. And then when I connect up here, you can see I connect them with a 2-inch pipe nipple. I just went with in the electrical department at the hardware store, 2-inch nipple, because it had to have enough room because these covers would hit each other if I went with a shorter than 2-inch. So here we have 20 amp electrical outlets. Oh, the thing I want to say, this is a standard 4-inch cast aluminum box, but I did buy these extensions. I think these extensions are 1.5 inches, and just to give me more room in here, because these outlets would have fit without any problem, but I got a lot of room for wire behind there. But these outlets here, this outlet, obviously you can see that's got a C-type USB connector on it, and this is the USB connector here. Now these are both quite big. They really would fill up the box, and I think I wouldn't have been able to get it in there. So I needed the extension on. I just put it on both of them so they look the same. This particular one here is called Power Delivery, PD. So this one will be a higher output wattage-wise. So this can charge up a laptop, where a lot of these USBs, they don't got the power to do it. But a Power Delivery, PD, it does have the power to charge up a laptop. And then you can see at the bottom here I have 2 knobs, and these knobs, they can spin off, easily spin off. Someday, there we go. I gotta put some Loctite in there. And I just put this is a split ring bracket, a wall bracket, and I drilled it out so it's just support, so I won't wear out the plywood, because here's the split ring that it goes to, and I just put that metal there so that metal won't ever wear out that plywood, because I'm down near the bottom. I don't want to have a big slot develop there because of that. Not that I've taken this on and off too many times, but so I got this knob, just tightens it up, works great. And then, here's my utility cord that we'll talk about that when I get everything back together and I do my final video. Okay, I've removed the 4 screws. 1 here, 2 here, and 1 on this side that hold the cover on. So this is the bottom of the Growatt. This is where everything, the wiring takes place here. So here we have the AC input, AC output. So if you look inside of here, your AC output is on the bottom 3. And we got ground, hot, neutral, ground, hot, neutral. You can see them, they both are displayed right there. And so the top plug is the, bottom plug is AC output, top plug is AC input, and that's their configuration in there. Then over here we have the PV input, which would be right there, and the PV input would go into these right here, this part right here. And here we have the DC input, that would be from our battery. And those connections are those 2 posts down there. Now mounting this to the wall, you got you do have 2 screws in the bottom. You see one there. The other one you see it down in there. You got to pull back some wire to get at it. So, but it's that little dimple at the bottom. So those are 2 at the bottom. Then at the top bracket here, we have mounting screw there, mounting hole there, and there. Now the screws I'm going to mount it down to my wood case are these sheet metal screws, number 10s, 1 inch long. Nothing fancy. Strong enough. This only weighs around 12 pounds or so. And then I'll be attaching it to these 2x4s. So the full 1 inch screws will go in very easily. Okay, when mounting this thing down, little screw, it's hard to get your fingers in there. And I just use this longer bit here. It's got a magnet in there, so I was able to put the screw on the tip of the magnet. And I did have it on here, and I drew holes. And then I started screws in the holes. And so that when I put the Growatt back on there, I had the little screws, I could get it started. So, and then that happens. I'm just going to get them started a little bit, and then I'm going to put the camera down and bring them home. Okay, so now to hook up our electrical lines, this is going to be my AC output. This line that goes up to my breaker box that feeds my 4 outlets. So if we look at our configuration, it's ground, line voltage, which would be, so this would be green, ground, line voltage, which is black, and neutral, which is white. Hard to get your fingers down in here, and I caution you, you can drop stuff in here really easy. Have a magnet. Don't make sure the magnet doesn't touch in this electronic stuff, but have it if you need it. But I find the best way to get these in is use a needle nose pliers, get them, and then you can grab one of the lines and insert it, tighten it down. You can go to the next one, and then you can kind of move the wire a little bit. Fight it. It's a little easier to fight it this way and get them in, and then it seems to work good. So I'm going to do that now, but I need both hands. Okay, I've got both of the AC out and the AC in, both of those are hooked up. Always remember, do the bottom one first, then do the top one. Easy to screw it up, but okay. So now we're going to hook up the battery. So the battery's going to go to these two terminals down here and there, and I got some this Anderson connector, number 2 gauge wire. So I have number 2 gauge wire by 1/4 inch studs. Those are 1/4 inch studs right there. So you want them to fit snugly. Okay, they're going to go through those holes there. But in this case, this has to be away because I have these quick disconnects knobs. So this has to be set up in the air more to clear that knob, so it's not in the way at all. So what I'm doing is, so I'm putting down my fender washer, and then this quarter 20 all thread rod will go through a extra heavy 3/8 rod coupling, and it will get another washer on there. So then, it'll go through, the rod will go through there, and as it goes through everything, and then you tighten it up, this becomes very stiff and very stout, so that you'll be able to unplug that Anderson connector. So I'm going to connect that up now. Okay, I can have this all bolted up now. So I will say this, when you are messing with those little nuts down there, keep your fingers on them, because you would have an epic battle on your hands when you have to retrieve one that has gone astray. So, word to the wise. And now you can see I have this elevated now. It must be 2.5 inches or so here right now. This is nice and rock solid here. This is going to work really good. And I've got it away from my knob here, so I could get at this really easy if I ever want to remove this off my two-wheeler. Okay, I did my last connection, the PV input. So if we lift those up, and it says PV input. So these two wires right there, and they go to PV input right here. Hard to see, really hard to see the positive and negative markings on which one is which. So I did put a red positive, blank negative, just for future reference. And then I also, on the positive lead, I did put some red shrink wrap there. So hopefully, and then it is the male and female ends on the MC4 connectors, so it's almost foolproof, but we all know how that ultimately works out.